But when you get ready to file and appeal that state Supreme Court decision, it's not appealed as a criminal law. It's still civil. It's a civil action in the federal court because there are no criminal courts. All criminal courts are tribal. They courts don't exist. They tricking us, right?
Yeah.
And this is why I say that earlier in the video, before I pulled you in, we have to put the sheriff's department on notice not to support the fraud. And then every time somebody identified a fraud taking place while it's taking place, they obligated to arrest those who are committing the fraud, the bar members. That's the law. It's a fraud upon the court.
I get it, but this isn't a perfect world. So, I mean, all that to say is that, you know, the people are in control and the bar is in control.
They're not in control.
Yeah.
They're not in control. It's illusionary. It's illusionary because you don't know how to tell them they're not in control. You trying to use them. Okay, let's say, for instance, that I take this right here and I say, as long as I hold this in my hand, I'm in control, right? And you say, okay, I'm in control until I put it down. And now you still acting like I'm in control. I put the book down. That's where we at with this. We agreed to let them hold the book for a period of time.
Can you just give me
Go back to your, this is how you know your government is aware that their time is up. You want to know if your government is aware? Look at the legislation last year.
Yeah.
They passed a bill commemorating 400 years. Why would they do that? They don't get two shits about that. Why would they pass a bill?
I don't want nothing. Thank you. Okay.
Like, they don't care. Why would they pass the bill to commemorate our 400 years? It's because they had to commemorate the end of their reign. It had to be put on the record. That's the rules.
Yeah, I know.
They already gave up.
You know, and I definitely do want to help the people, but I don't want to also, you know, put the people behind jail either. So, you know, as you know, collectively as a group,
this getting them out. This is just how you get them out.
It gets them out, but not collectively. It gets individually, and 50%, maybe even like 80% won't make it.
You can do it collectively, but that wouldn't be a good idea because you don't know what you're letting out then. Because they didn't got
the HR 24, HR 25. You know, that she had just mentioned, but HR 22, I definitely have to look into that one. What she was saying, where was it at? Chanel. So that's the start that people don't hear. You know, it's going back to, you know, Obama, you know, who put in a law that a lot of us don't even know about, you know, about restitution. You know what I mean? You know, for you know, for us collectively, you know, it goes back to a lot of information, you know, and some people ain't ready to, you know, handle all the information but you have to definitely, you know, be open-minded, you know, to what's around you because it's just crazy. It's sad, well, very, very sad.
Most of us are controlled now by fear alone. Now,
exactly.
I'm gonna tell you
exactly.
I'm gonna tell you something else. They be showing all these shooting of these black people in the news. They doing that to try to set us off so they can try to hit us with the war hammer. Right?
Yeah, they want us to fight back and retaliate.
Right, and it's not working. Now, this is what they're not telling you. Every time they shoot a black person unarmed, they shoot about 5 white ones. But they don't report it like that.
Exactly.
Because when they report them, it has to be a mass shooting. For them to report the police shooting one of them in the back, it's rare. And if they do report it, they won't make a big deal out of it. They want to set us off. Because they don't think we have any self-control, and that our misery is so deep we can't think.
Of course. It's just annihilation. It's a slow process of annihilation, but it's going faster and faster.
Mm-hmm.
You know, people just got to be smart because, you know, like Chanel was talking about with the 400 and getting paid, and I was talking to, you know, Kiwi about, you know, all of this, and as you know, us as a collective group, you know, we definitely have to, you know, the Constitution and what it says, and behind that, it says a whole lot that can free, you know, us as a nation, you know, collectively. But it's something that may take 20 years. You know, it's not easy. You know, it's a simple case just for an individual may take 1 to 5 years. So imagine for the whole nation how long it's going to take. It's going to take over 20 years. But you have to play your cards right by the Constitution. That's the law of the land.
No, you're not looking at how the law laid out. You're looking at the way that they're telling you to look at it, but you got your own way of seeing it.
But you can't go against it because it gets you locked up. So you have to follow the.
That's not gonna get you locked up. They have to, before they can lock you up, they have to first establish jurisdiction of the person. They have subject matter jurisdiction. When they call you in for an arraignment, when they call you in for an arraignment, now they're trying to get the physical person to represent the paperwork. That's what the joinder of the parties is.
They bring you in. They have a hearing date. They have a hearing date. They bring you in.
You know the process of court. That's fine. But the process is not the problem. It's not the process that's the problem. It's the people that's practicing the process under fraudulent pretenses in violation of the supreme law of the land.
That part. But what attorney is going to stand front and represent you?
You don't need, that's the problem right there. You keep asking for an attorney.
Okay. All right. Okay. So you can do it by yourself.
You need listen, pay attention. In law, if you need an attorney, you are considered incompetent. When they consider you incompetent, they consider you an imbecile.
But you don't want to. I'm listening. I got you.
When they call you the imbecile in law, that take away all of your inalienable rights, and now you become control of the system because you can't function as a human being. You only 3/5 now. Got you. You don't need an attorney to argue your rights.
Okay.
You need to argue that they can't nobody argue your rights but Christ.
Got you. Okay.
That's your inalienable right. So when you go hire an attorney, they got you.
Okay, so pretty much every
right, because we don't pay attention to what we supposed to pay attention to. We pay attention to what our enemy tell us to pay attention to.
Right. So
they know, like why they know what the Constitution. Why do you think the President of the United States pointed out that the 13th or the 14th Amendment? He said, "Did you read it?" But he never asked you why is he pointing this out? Because he's pointing out there's two different types of citizen in that, and both of them not the same. Neither do they have the same quality or right in law. That's the first thing you point out. The second thing is nobody ever freed a slave in this country. You gotta get that sideways thinking out your brain. Emancipation Proclamation, look those words up.
Okay.
Don't got nothing to do, it's just somebody said something. That's all it means. President Lincoln said that there was an emancipation taking place. He proclaimed an emancipation. That don't mean that it's law. That's not an executive order. That's not an act of Congress. That's not a bill from the Senate. What do it mean? It has no weight, no value, unless you are under an interim government and they're giving you trustee rights as a prisoner of war. That's the only time it becomes, then it becomes manumission.
Manumission. So when you say that, it's just more like of an individual.
It gives you the right
Mm-hmm.
to roam the plantation freely. But if you want to leave this
Oh.
plantation, so what they actually was telling you is they was transferring ownership
Mm-hmm.
from private owners to the government, the corporate owner, which is the artificial DC setup. I mean, the artificial United States setup in DC. That's
Mm-hmm.
not the capital.
Mm-hmm.
Philadelphia is our true capital. But when they sacked us, they had
Mm-hmm.
to set up close to their base of
Mm-hmm.
operations, which was DC.
Which was DC. Okay.
So it's called the District of Columbia,
Mm-hmm.
named after Columbus. Why? And he never even touched the mainland.
Interesting.
But that's
Right.
his
He
district.
touched what, like the islands. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
But he was the investigator sent over here in pursuit of the Grail blood. He was the first investigator to make it over here, and he was told how to get here by Pietro del Negro. They had no illusions about if the earth was flat or round. They knew where they was going.
Interesting. Yeah. So going to the topic of Native Americans and
Yep.
the you know where I'm going.
Go ahead. Ask the question.
You know, so we're, the majority of us who were born here and our ancestries are already originated here. You know, as far as, you know, doctrineship, you know, to state that we're, you know, ownership of slaves, our ancestries, they
Mm-hmm.
kind of, you know, led us to believe that we're from, you know, Africa. You know, oh, we were
Okay,
on
I
the.
got you. So you
Mm-hmm.
want to know what side of the water we from? We
Oh, I
from
already
both.
know. I already know. I already know.
We was
Yeah.
listen. So we was seafaring, trading, intermarrying and intermixing from both sides of the water for thousands of years
Mm-hmm.
before European even existed.
Yeah.
They altered the timelines to try to deceive us, but the relics don't lie.
Mm-hmm.
The relics won't lie to you. Because they can't replace that stuff, because when they find it, they so amazed, they trying to figure out if it got some key message that'll give them mystic powers.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't want to destroy it. That's the only reason they don't want to destroy it. And then some of those things, if they destroy it, it causes an immediate backlash. They don't want that either. And they don't know which is which. So we call this America. This is not, we call it Amur Inca.
Mm-hmm.
And they call it Africa. From over here, we call it Afar Inca. Over there, they call it Afar Amexa.
Okay.
But when they got over here, they had to give it a name over there. So they called it
Mm-hmm.
Africa. But it's Afar Inca to us. And this is Amur Inca to
Interesting.
us. And this is broke
Okay.
up into
Mm-hmm.
provinces. Now, the information is coming out so strong that people are starting to actually post the ancient maps that the tribal networks was set up on. And now they starting to post it on the internet. People starting to say, I found this one and this one, because it was all documented, because they had to keep a record. We according to universal law overrides this mortal stuff. And that's why all law is commercial. God's law overrides man law. They know this. If you go in their book, they don't talk about God when they enforcing their law. They only talking about it in your politics and in your documents dealing with your politics. You got cases where the Supreme Court judges are saying God has no place in this courtroom. This is a courtroom of law and order. Well,
Okay.
if it was a law, a real court of law and order, then it would be the law of might. And they wouldn't wear the black Saturnian robes of Set. They would wear the white robes of purity of Mot. Go look at the judgment halls in the hieroglyphics, and you'll see the judges are women, and they all wearing white.
Interesting.
They would have, like, for instance, like we have a jury of 12. It would be 7 women from different parts of the country, but they would all be wearing white, and they would be set up as judges, and they'd had raised so many kids that can't nobody lie to them because they're gonna smell it from a mile away. You know how Big Mama is. Now imagine Big Mama Mud D all up in the same room at the same time, and one of her kids coming there trying to lie to her.
Got you.
How long is it gonna take them to see through the BS?
Not long at all.
No. So that's the judgment halls. That's how we got here. This is how we get out. That's why they had to tell you in the Declaration of Independence that your rights are endowed to you by God and they are inalienable. When you walk in your God power, these laws don't apply to you because you are under a higher law that's more restrictive.
And that's the law of God.
Yeah. And then at that point, it becomes all clear to them that they can either step down or change robes. If they change robes, then they have to forsake the ways of the world and embrace the ways of righteousness. That's just the rules.
Okay. All right. So what would you say to the people?
No, she froze. I think I know what she's about to ask. When you go into the courtroom, it's at the arraignment where the trickery starts. If you challenge the sooner you challenge the jurisdiction, the better off you are. In violation or against what is said in the Declaration of Independence, your inalienable rights before God, and you have to declare your allegiance before the Christ and the Christ to be your any authority over you and that you are about to leave. And it sounds like it's more difficult than it is, but you gotta, it's one thing that we have left to do to put this puzzle together, and that one thing is to discover or to find out the enacting clause that allows us to, the Moors have the documents we need. I don't have access to them yet because we have not met. But the Moors have access to the documents we need in order to enact all sheriffs to work on our behalf and the U.S. Marshal to work on our behalf. And they will end up cleaning all of this up from all of these fraudulent courts going back to the tribal tribunals. I kind of figured that, Selena, honey. I'm going to end this, though. It's been almost 2 hours. I don't want to overload the people with too much information at one time, and it's been a lot on here. But look for the brother at the Nation Mosque could do that. If they put it in the final call or something, and y'all need to know what the standard of review is and why Farrakhan didn't declare righteous, he gonna have it explained by Sharia law and by American jurisprudence if it get cleared by Farrakhan to explain to them what a standard of review is and how it works in both Sharia law and both in the jurisprudence that you are aware of. And yep, we good. We gonna keep it rolling. I'm gonna show you how it all works. And so, if that brother lay that down over there, we should be good. I hope I didn't give y'all too much. And, if y'all have any questions, y'all can inbox me or post them to my page. And I'm gonna end this one here. And me and Shalina gonna get back on this again because she got a lot of good input, and I see where her concerns are. So we're gonna deal with that more in detail next time. But this was Awakening of the Black Gods, and I'm making sure y'all got y'all reference books I'm gonna go over them again. You got the Wisdom of Solomon. You have the Book of Enoch, Sleeping Gods Waking Up, or Forgotten Gods. It's Forgotten Gods Waking Up, and the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. And yep, come on, Chanel, inbox me. So I'm gonna get off here, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep putting this together for us, and I'm gonna keep on working. Remember, support the We Are Farrakhan movement, and support the Be Among the Righteous ideology, and let's keep us moving. Okay. All right, Shalina, inbox me, sweetie, and we can figure out where we go next.